And moving on, India has warned the top UN court not to create new international laws on tackling climate change as judges aim to craft a fresh global legal framework. Joining other top emitters that are United States and China, India told the International Court of Justice that the existing UN framework was sufficient.
In rendering its advisory opinion, the court may exercise due caution to avoid devising new or additional obligations beyond what is already agreed under the existing climate change regime, which take into consideration historic emissions, climate justice, and the principle of equity and CBDRRC, as well as the equitable access to the global carbon budget.
And while this has angered smaller, vulnerable states that want to see the court go further, the ICJ is holding historic hearings to form a so-called advisory opinion on states' responsibilities to fight climate change and the consequences for those damaging the environment. Now, more than 100 countries and organizations are presenting at the ICJ, which is the biggest case ever before the world's top court. Critics say that ICJ's advisory opinion, which will take months, if not years to write, will lack teeth as it is non-binding upon the states and there is no means of enforcement. Now, others hope the ICJ will lay down a legal precedent that will influence domestic climate legislation and litigation. Now, India's legal advisor said that the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change reflects a delicate balance among varying interests and enjoy almost universal adherence. He also warned that India's patience was wearing thin as the world's most populous country seeks to reduce harmful emissions while tackling poverty.
Mr. President, climate finance is a critical enabler for planning and implementing ambitious climate actions and an essential element for building trust in climate multilateralism. Developing countries can only scale up their climate actions, whether mitigation or adaptation actions, depending on the support of climate finance they receive from developed countries.
Now, India aims to boost non-fossil fuel power capacity to 500 gigawatts by 2030 and is committed to achieve a net zero emissions economy by 2070, which is 2 decades after most of the industrialized West.